Dear Michael Bisping, my name is Keith Whittier. I'm a UFC fan. I am a Fight Pass subscriber. I'm somebody that has the opportunity of watching the events on a regular basis. I wouldn't consider myself the greatest fan or the most knowledgeable, but month in and month out, there I am either at a sports bar or at my home gathered with friends watching the UFC. I was very excited for you when you got the opportunity to fight for the title. To fight for the championship after your long career and to take on Luke Rockhold. I liked what you said leading up to the fight. Every fight is different, you would say. I'm not taking this fight lightly, but I'm going to be taking out Luke Rockhold. You showed him a lot of respect, mixed in with some trash talking, which is to be expected. When you went into the fight, I looked at my friends and I said, who you got? And everybody said Luke Rockhold, not me. I said there's just something about Michael Bisping, I just think that he's going to take it. The same way that Anderson Silva took you lightly is the same way that Luke Rockhold seemed to take you lightly as you knocked him out. I jumped up excited, turned to my friends and said to each one of them, I told you so. And I basked in your celebration. I was excited to see you bring your family into the octagon with you. I was happy to see you get your hand raised. Sure, it would have been great if you didn't jump on top of the octagon and scream a big F you to Luke Rockhold, but instead showed more class. But again, that's not what happened. But the reason that I'm saying this letter to you isn't because of your antics in the octagon, no, more so your antics afterwards. In the post-fight presser at the end of it, well documented now, you walked away from Luke Rockhold and you uttered the F word. You threw a homophobic slur at him. And I don't understand why. Up until this fight, I thought to myself, there are tons of people in the UFC who know how to sell a fight, who know how to get under somebody's skin and how to trash talk, and you, sir, are one of the best. But I don't understand why a man who just realized his dream, who was literally sitting on top of all of his dreams because they'd come true, would turn and do something like that. I think about all of those kids in school who get bullied, who get teased, who sometimes commit suicide because they can't be who they want to be. I think of those people who feel alienated, who feel that they might not belong. Now I know that that the job of the UFC isn't to wave the gay pride flag, and I get that. But the job of the UFC isn't to spread hate either. I look at that and I just feel nothing but disgust and disappointment. And then I'm left thinking to myself, when you were getting ready to fight Anderson Silva, was it common for you to start throwing around the N-word? Mr. Bisping, I don't know you and you don't know me. I know what you portray on television, and for the most part, that seemed to be a pretty classy individual. Why you would stoop so low and just completely alienate a large group of people is beyond me. Dana White and the UFC have a responsibility to take action on this. Because if they don't, what they're basically doing is saying, it's okay. When I look at UFC champions in the past and I think of great people like George St. Pierre, I think this is what a champion is. Somebody who represents a brand, somebody who can go out, do media, do marketing, and help build the audience and the awareness of the sport. You, Michael Bisping, are not the type of person that I would want representing my sport, especially if that's hidden with a cloak of homophobia. Completely disappointed in you because you took what should have been the greatest night in your professional life and flipped it into probably one of the most embarrassing moments of your career. You got the better of Luke Rockhold, but at least Luke Rockhold was able to leave the forum and people not looking at him as a big homophobe and not a big disappointment. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for you. Sincerely, Keith Whittier. As always, I can be reached on Twitter at CFL_fan, Facebook.com/WhittyWhittier, and WhittyWhittier.com. Until then, take care.